Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's see. Let's get that chart, or get that. You should be able to see that. Let me be able to see that. That's what it comes down to. Let's see where we at here. There we are. We're tuned in now. All right, Doc here from North America, in the land of crazy. I guess the whole planet now is crazy. GameStop trading up to $300 a share. Boy, talk about thin markets, trapped shorts, mechanics. Ahmad, how you doing? How about that GameStop, huh? Thank goodness currencies won't be doing that. Boy, I'll tell you. It tells you one thing. It's a much safer place to be is currencies or other products like that, where the stocks are crazyville. And who knows? You know, we talk about it all the time. I mean, the earnings, and none of this justifies anything half the time. This is like the classic of all, especially, I guess you could say in many ways the finesse of Wall Street of old. In other words, back in the many years ago, when Wall Street could sell an idea and keep that idea alive for a while. I'm not sure the central banks can do that. Still is. It's trading at $248 right now. Velnet. Ah. Buongiorno. So, there it is right there. We're looking at the Swiss. Are we looking at the Swiss? No, that's the euro. I was looking at the euro there. I was just trying to get a flavor. Here's the Swiss. Let's put that up first. And you can see the Swiss is trying to lift up in here. You can see it's doing it there. And let's go over to Forex. That's the gold yesterday we were looking at. And there is Swiss there. And you're going to see the white line probably piercing up. And this is the hinky ashy bars. There we are. And yep, see that? Broke through here, showing some life. We got green dots galore here. Same situation here. Green hinky ashies. You can see it's really pushing up. What else can we say about this whole thing there? I guess that's about it. A lot of pressure on pairs trades, and again, and the dollar seems to be firming more and more. It could be, who knows how many people might be short dollars, just like GameStop, and they need to reach for them. Now, what we have seen in the past as a central bank. Boy, I hear that crinkly stuff. That's interesting. I did wash the plug with alcohol yesterday. Okay. So we don't know how many people are really short, or institutions are short dollars. And so, will they reach? I don't think they will as aggressively as they are at GameStop. What will happen is that the central banks will be lent dollars so they can lend it to whoever needs it, that type of thing. That's usually the way it rolls. So, but it does reflect what's the right words I could use to describe the market? Let me think. I'm trying to figure it out. Thin, not very deep when it comes to liquidity. Remember, we're really low in volume. When it comes to the NYSE stocks, we're about, I guess we're reflecting about 30 or 40% of what it used to be back in 2008, before the calamity of 2008. Let me think. Thank you, Saint Germain from the 80s, and thank you, that was a congressman who started this mess. And thank you, Barney Frank from Massachusetts, who put the cherry on the top to make the whole calamity crash in the end. So, what we're really seeing is we're going into an era now where I want to use the word uncertainty of value. A price, what we could call it, price discovery. That's what we used to refer to it many years ago. Price discovery. Our price discovery is a disaster. So, traders, You know, options and underlining products are the way to play this at this point in time. And yesterday, Giannis was mentioning to me that they do binaries, so you can remember how I was saying you buy one option, you sell another option. That's the name of the game there, doing some type of binary thing. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Which time frame do you have the best success with? Well, when I use time, I'll use a 3 minute, but I don't use time. I use a spatial bar. So, like you can see here, um, let's see if we'll make this there like that. So there it is right there. That is 196 contracts. Each bar is made up of 196 contracts. So when it comes to the S&P 500, I use 2,699 contracts. And when I'm looking at the low cap stocks, where is it at? The Russell, it'll jump out here in a second. Oh, there's right at the top. I use 123. So, you know, my work goes plus. I guess it's like right there. We get the volatility signal right there, and we get our action up with all the nice green dots, and then we start to, you know, pair off. You can see the white line starts to break the time manifold. That's how we use our work here, and then that's the intraday trading one I look at. So I don't. If you're going to use a time frame, I use a 3 minute. A lot of people come into the webinar and they ask about 1 hour. We can take a look at 1 hour. I'm not a big fan of conventional time, but there's the euro. Let's see if we can bring this over. And this is a 1 hour chart. Yeah, I don't follow what I refer to in my head as a linear Newtonian type of time frame. I don't pay attention to that. Now here's hourly. You can see here the work broke down here. What was it? The second bar right there gave us a sell there on an hourly. They tried to pop it with the volatility signal, but it was still lower than the previous bar. And then it sold down, and they did it again here. And then they break down again, and so forth. And you can see when we move this over, you know, this is a 1 hour chart. I'm like I said, I don't pay attention to 1 hours that much, but people ask for it. So, yeah, for the day trading, exactly. So as day trading, I use spatial non-linear bars. So in other words, I'll use tick bars or contract bars, but I don't use, you know, seconds and minutes. I find them to be less efficient. When you put minutes up against spatial bars, you know, spatial bars always beat out. They're always much more accurate. I hope that helps you. And if you need, we can look into it deeper too. If I didn't make total sense there. I'm waiting to see if Ahmad comes back. Well, we'll keep on looking at things. Let's see, where's it at? Right here. All right, so there's the euro on an hourly. And we'll put that away for the time being until... there we go. I'll do my research on the topic. Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of the hourlies. Some people watch 4 hours. Some people look 1 hour. I myself, for intraday trading, I use spatial bars, so they're non-linear. So in other words, you know, one bar could be, well, here's a good example. Like one bar right there took at 6:30 and 36. The next bar was 6:31:01. The next bar was 31:12, only 11 seconds. You know, and then same thing like right here. In this case here, bar was at 6:08:43. Next bar was basically about 4 minutes later. Next bar was 1 minute later. Was it 1 minute later? No. There's 6 to 8. No, 6 to 12. And then, let's try that again. 8 to 12. That's 4 minutes. Then the next one is a minute and a half. or even less, a minute. Then the next bar is 2 minutes. Then the next bar is 2 minutes. Then the next bar is over 3 minutes. Then the next bar is 1 minute. Is that right? Yeah, not even 1 minute. It was less than 1 minute. Half a second? Half a minute. That's what it was, half a minute. So what happens when you do nonlinear bars, it represents volatility, or the beta, and a designated trend. Whereas when you're using 3 minutes, you're waiting for 3 minutes, or 2 minutes, or 5 minutes, or an hour, or whatever it is, Do you depend on indicator? Oh yeah, my indicator. But we also have something over here on J4X that you can utilize. You can connect up yourself right here. So right here, so you see our Chicago quant indicators right here. Is that all right? Yeah, that's right. Let's give it a refresh. Right there, that's the Chicago quant indicators. And then what we do is on our J4X, we use 2 different moving stochastic slow Ds and CCI, and combined with a Hinky-Ashi. And it correlates with our math about 68% of the time, something like that, which is not too bad. So it's a combination of both of them, because in many ways, when you're talking about a spatial bar, that's an indicator in its own right there. So the bar itself is an indicator. Whereas if you're doing a 3-minute bar, it's just an accounting of price. Every 3 minutes. Where is it now? Where will it be 3 minutes from now? Where it will be 6 minutes from now? Where it will be 9 minutes from now? It doesn't really tell you much, except for the fact of where it is. I'll do my. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Really good questions. I like that. Because we get into this once in a while. Someone will ask that type of trend of an idea or thought, and then I go on my little litany of about spatial versus non-spatial. Let's see, who's this? This is Farouz. Hey, my question is about futures, differences in spreads, leverage between futures and Forex. Is everything possible in futures like Forex, scalping, big lots, risk? Oh yes, most definitely. They're both hard deltas. I would say that what happens with spot, or Forex itself, is that it's a little bit more sensitive, and you can but I mean they're arbitraged between each other, so they don't get out of line. There might be a liquidity thing in the futures somewhere along the line at night, way in a dead spot, but overall the spot is much more accurate in the sense of liquidity and so forth, whereas the futures, they don't trade anywhere near the volume that the spot or the Forex does. But we like the Forex. We trade both. We're not agnostic to any of it. We're into all of it. And then we used to trade options on spot. We don't have many options on spot anymore. That's the problem. Now Dukascopy does offer binaries on them, so that's a good thing. But at one time we had options on spot, which was really nice. And now there's just basically the access in the United States is more of options on the futures. So, and I like to combine the two together. Binaries with the underlining. All right. I hope that answered the question. And don't be concerned about asking a second one if it doesn't make any sense to you. We can look at that much deeper right now. I don't care. I'm always here to answer questions. But anyway, we usually start off with looking at the Swiss to see how the dollar is going. And you can see as the Swiss rises, so does the dollar. What we'll do is we'll go over and take a look at the euro now. Because we know the overall trend now is the dollar is going up and pairs trades are going down. And let's minimize that. And let's go back over to Dukascopy Day Forex on Chicago Quant and put the euro up there. And you can see here the euro is going down and we're breaking our... oh, here you can't see that. So And you can see right here, we're breaking down. It's falling down. We did close in a sell last night. You see it on our fact check spreadsheet on line 14. We're in a daily sell and a weekly sell. Like that. 2 weeks in the sell and 1 day in the sell, and there's a little pressure here. I don't know if there's a lot of major pressure, just some pressure, I'd imagine. Let me make that red. I know the charts we sent out for Chicago Quant had the little red thing in it. And then you can see we've been in a weekly sell for a couple of weeks, and we're still down there. And you can see the white line is now piercing the bottom side of this time manifold. It's a nonlinear time manifold there. So we're seeing that pressure that's building. And then we saw the cable. Where'd it go out? I think the cable did hold on to its daily buy, but it was very close. Let's see. No. It was all right. It was good, I guess. So you can see here the cable is in a daily buy. Now today they are backing off like the rest of the pairs. They're all falling back somewhat in here. But you can see that the cable's in a weekly buy right here and a daily buy right here. Since I guess this point right here, the start of this bar. It's been holding up, it's been waffling along, but it is making new highs. We keep on expecting to see it penetrate the 38s. Now there was some news out about Scotland again trying to join the European Union and dragging the Republic of Ireland with them as some type of, I guess, a UK type, so I don't know, Great Britain type of slice. So you'll have some of the island part of the European Union, and the other part will be Great Britain and the Commonwealth. Yeah, you would figure they would go wrong. They usually do. I mean, I don't see any value in the European Union. You can see how Poland, Czech Republic, and everybody else in Hungary are fighting to have a much more productive country, and all they can do is do socialism, so the European Union. So that's not exactly anything that grows anything. If socialism worked, the Soviet Union would be here and the United States would not. I mean, it's so obvious. I mean, there isn't a socialist country that produces anything productive more than slave labor. Hence China. So they don't exactly innovate anything. They just copy it and use their slave labor to produce it. I don't get it. I don't understand what's the mathematical dysfunction there about understanding that capitalism works and enslavement and slavery is not a biggie. Not something you want to aspire to. I think I'll be a slave now. Yeah, right. I think I take the capitalist side. So anyway, that's where we are with the cable. And it does, when we scrunch it up, you can see it has been pushing hard. We've been in the weekly buy since back here, since the 29.30 area. And it's keeping that trend, as it drifts further and further away from the European Union. It has to put, obviously, investors into the attitude of no matter how goofy the C19 thing is. I was talking to someone last night about this. How can it be a pandemic if less people died last year? I mean, pandemic means, a bunch of people died. Right? I mean, instead, C19 is a cure for heart disease and cancer. I mean, we've never had so many low deaths in modern times in cancer patients and heart disease. They've been cured. And C19 obviously took some of their lives. And, less people died in 2020 than in 2019 in the United States. And more people died in 2018 than in 2019 and 2020. So where's the pandemic? I want to know where the pandemic is. Isn't it supposed to be like the Spanish flu where you had like 18 million more people die the next year? I mean, really. Something's wrong here. The whole thing's wrong. And if they weren't doing that C19 craziness over there in Great Britain right now, wow, this thing would be banging through the 38s, probably into the 40s at this point. All right, let's jump over to Turkish lira. Right there. You see Turkish lira is kind of chill, just relaxed, kind of, tightening up more and more. Let's widen that so you can see the Chicago Quant algorithm. And we'll take a look at it on J4X too at the same time. Turkish lira has gotten, less volatile. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. And you can see online on the fact check spreadsheet, 6 weeks in a sell and 5 days in a sell, and the product is doing its best to go down in value. You know, like this is where they went into the weekly sell, and this is where it's at now. So it's kind of like that 3-minute chart thing, you know. This is a daily chart, of course, and you can see the time manifold is trying to be pierced by the white line, and it's trying to lift up. We'll see what they do there, but look at the weekly. Not even interested, is it? After 54 weeks in a weekly buy, was it a weekly buy? Yeah, weekly buy. You know, now it's 6 weeks in a weekly sell. So over the last 60 weeks, that's 6-0. We had 54 weeks of a weekly buy, and ran from 5.5, something like that, to 8.5, almost doubled. Ooh. And then now it's starting to back off into the low 7s, which is really good for a population of Turkey. All right, let's drift over to Canadian. That's where we usually do here. We go to Canadian from there. There is Canadian. Canadian has been in a daily buy for the last couple of days there. You can see that. Still moving up. But we've been in a weekly sell since here, so it's just a dead cat bounce more than anything else. And let's see how it looks on the J4X. And there it is there, trying to lift up, you know. And so with this lifting up, normally that would be telling us that oil might be heading a little down or sideways down, that type of thing, you know, because it's not exactly a big move. You can see how sideways this is on the Canadian. So chances are oil is sideways too right now. And then we take a look at NASCAD. That's the other side of the pairs trades that we look at that kind of reflect the characteristic of oil. And you can see here, let's see what it does. There we are. That's trying to lift up. So more than likely, it should be sideways up with the two combinations of the currencies. And so let's go take a look at crude oil itself. Right there. And obviously it's going down. So instead of sideways up, it's definitely sideways and down, matching with the Canadian. And we're thinking that NASCAD will try to do a little topping out in here and head south. Let's just see what NASCAD looks like on Chicago Quant too. Let's see, right there and there. Oh, and right NASCAD right there. Oh, okay, so it's not really climbing at all. NASCAD is actually lower today than it was yesterday. That makes more sense. Yeah, see, the hinky ashy kind of is a lagging indicator, so it kind of hides that stuff, you know. You see how it's moving up still. You can see the white line trying to curve here, just like our white line there is trying to curve. So, and you can see our, you know, it's showing weakness there, so that makes more sense now. So what did I see? Now let's go to, that's how we kind of segue our into the commodities, unless someone wants to see another currency pair. That's what we do, is we segue our way into the commodities. Oh, that's copper. That's not crude oil. There it is. There's crude oil, acting the same way as we were expecting. Okay. And so you can see it's trying to roll over a little bit. And what we're probably going to be seeing is, you know, if the Canadian keeps on heading up and the dollar keeps on heading up, and NASCAD keeps going sideways to down like this, then what will happen is we're going to see oil start to roll over. There we go. Now we'll take a look at natural gas right there. March contract, you can see that's lifting again today. Excellent. So give it a refresh too. Move that over like that. There we are. So strength has been in there. It's been in a buy since here, which has not exactly done us any favors. You can see we went to the sell up in here. So we knew not to be long, and now it's saying to be long. So it's caught pretty much most of this move here. And so there's the heating oil. And since Doc is very comfortable with saying that we are going into a new ice age, all the CO2 we can get will only make us a little bit more comfortable till we get hit with the heavy action. But we're going into a new ice age, and so we're going to need a lot of these energy products. And Mr. Trump showed that we can be self-sufficient on it, so that's good. So Mr. Biden can just starve us a little bit for some oils until, I guess, when the ice age really starts to kick in, boy, then we'll be like, uh-oh. Now, the other product we look at in the energy sector is the gas oil that's used for the automobile. And you can see, let's do this one right there. There you go. You can see it's holding up firm, but also a little weakness today, just like crude oil, just showing a little weakness, and you can see this is starting to curve down. So, and then the other product we look at in the energy sector is we look at bean oil. Middle age. Hey, how you doing? Oh, you can't see. Excellent. Let's go. There we go. Let me go back to that. There we are. Yeah. So. Let me go back to the natural gas. Where is it at? Natural gas. Let's go do the crude again. We'll do the crude real quick. Where are you? Right there. Let's do the crude again right there. You can see it's like doing nothing. But you can see our work right there. And then you can see the natural gas has been a nice little rip-roarer. And then Robin and I put an article out about that. Like, watch out above. So that action is happening. We're seeing it climb up again. We're heading for an ice age. Could be a reason why all the grains and all the meats and all like that are holding up very firm. I think the North Pole now moves almost 2 kilometers a day now. Where where's it? The North Pole now is in Siberia. It's off about 1,000 miles now, and it's moving about 2 kilometers a day. So, that could be a real reason why we're seeing the expansion in soybeans and corn and wheat and meats. Is the ice age is kicking in stronger and stronger every day, and so we're seeing that, and that's I know that sounds a little crazy, but it's a fact. It's all math, like usual with me. So we're seeing the North Pole and the South Pole moving, and like I said, the North Pole has moved close to 1,000 miles now, and it's moving about 2 kilometers a day, and so there might be a lot of concern with some people that are in the know that they're buying up as much inventory as they can buy. So you know what? There may be a point where it doesn't go down. This kind of reminds. You know what this reminds me of now that I'm saying this out loud? This reminds me of the August of 1982 bull market start. Dow Jones Industrial Average is cruising along in the sevens, 700, not 7,000, 700. It's trading, I remember that week, it trades down to like 768, something like that, 763. Mr. Reagan gets rid of the 73% income tax, and Congress passes it, and reduces capital gains and all that stuff dramatically. And the next thing you know is that there's Daniel. Hey Daniel, how you been? And the next thing you know is that it's an interesting lecture about geography. Yeah, well, no, electromagnetic fields really. And so this action does the movement in the grains and the meats remind me of the August of 82 stock market explosion, where the next thing you know, it triples in value and never really looks back until the crash of 87, where it falls down into the, it fell down to the 14s and 13s or something like that from the 20s, 26, 27, right? And then, within that year, of the October crash, it's back up into the high 20s, 2000s, that is, and it runs to the 5,000s. And Mr. Greenspan goes on his lecture about exuberance and all that stuff. About 3 or 4 years later, and I think that was 94, really, the exuberance thing. So that's like about 5 or 6 years later, and then we see it slowly climb up into the Obama years. I mean, the Clinton years, and then the Bush years. We see this thing go from more than a decade earlier, where it was trapped at 700, is now trading at 7,000, and during the Obama years, it's in the 12s, and then with the Bush years and the Obama years, it was in the 12,000 area, and then under the Trump, where he frees up the economy like the way Reagan did, it runs up to 30,000 or 28,000 or something like that. It triples or doubles or something like that. So, I would say that I would say that this the grains have not made a lot of sense in the sense of, let's see, this is the actual results of election. Cool. And so some of the grain thing, I mean, makes sense to us because we follow through a quant, But now, as I say this stuff, I keep on watching the North Pole and South Pole move dramatically, and our weather, we're getting really, interesting weather here. Not what we used to get at all. This is definitely strange weather we're getting nowadays. So maybe this is what's really coming out to be. I mean, everybody in the world is buying, soybeans and corn and wheat, and they're not going to let it go. And so maybe we may be at a point now where you don't see, $3 corn anymore. That might not be seen ever again. I mean, in other words, that maybe that was the last hurrah. Maybe that was the August of '82 explosion. So, I mean, that could be a biggie right there alone, where that would be an answer to why we see a lot of firmness across the whole sector, and it's not flowing like it normally does. Grains go up and they sell down the meats, and that type of thing. So there's a good chance that that's exactly what's going on. And so let's see what Daniel says. What happened, Robin, when you got message retracted? What you put up there? That's an interesting lecture on geography. Yeah, so natural gas, it holds up above the 2.6 can be bullish. It needs to hold above the 2.8 for it to be bullish for the next 3 months. I think that the natural gas situation is probably, we're abundant. I don't know what they trade. Let's go to J4X, because I don't think they reflect American natural gas. I think they're reflecting European natural gas, the hub out of Eastern Europe. Let's see what there's natural gas there. Okay, so that is reflecting like the American natural gas. Okay, I thought they had a second one on J4X that actually reflected European natural gas. I thought they had that. I could have sworn there was. There must be one that reflects European natural. What's that? There is the natural grid. I guess that's the structure of it. So I'm not really sure how to interpret that. So another steel skyscraper might fly, belly flop, and land on today. That's one of my sons saying something. I don't know if they're listening to me. Maybe maybe he's talking about, maybe that's what he's talking about. GME stock. He's very in tune to that stuff. There you go. So, yeah, I think that's an answer there, middle-aged muscle. I think there's a good chance that what we're really seeing is this is the 1982 event in the commodities, and I feel comfortable enough because of the way the North Pole is moving now, and our how our civilization is under threat by the way where we are in space. Remember, our solar system is moving about, what is it? It's moving at some crazy number, about 180,000 kilometers a minute. I think it is. It's something like that. It moves at that rate. Ah, he's saying that there's 100,000 people who will buy stock if Elon Musk tweets them to do so. And so that's what's going on there. I see. And so, but yeah, I mean, we're going into, I can tell you, I follow the sun and, and I follow the electromagnetic fields on Earth for, for a decade now at least. And, we're getting into some dicey area. So that might be the answer really to why we're seeing all the strength in the commodities. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see these things back off. You know, we'll know. We'll know because our quant will tell us it's going down. But it seems like it looks like the way the Turkish lira looked for the last year and change. Just in one rampage in one direction. Let's see. I'm not saying. Okay. They still pummel gold and silver, and I guess Yellen is indeed at the helm. Yeah. Well, I keep on thinking that the platinum spread is going to do better against gold. We'll take a look at that. Should help my coffee trade then. Yeah, I hear you there. Let's go take a look at that. First, let's look at the gold and silver for, who was that? Daniel, right? Yeah, Daniel's looking at the gold and silver. We'll take a look at that. And then we'll jump over to coffee. And then I see Daniel has another one up there. Let's take a look at that too. So let's see. Let's see what coffee looks like. What am I going? Coffee. Here's coffee. This will be really fast and easy. And there is right there, holding up pretty firm. It looks like it's going. What was that? That's yesterday. So let's give it a refresh. But it looks like it's moving back into the buy again. It's been in a weekly buy since back here. It hasn't really gone anywhere on the coffee. And then let's go over to the. There it is right there. There's the silver. Silver sold down a little bit in here. You can see that. That's it in live action there. And are we in a sell on silver? What are we doing there? Where's that? Silver is still in a buy. I guess that's this one's saying it's in a sell. Right there. There should be like a sell there. Because let's widen this a little bit more. Yeah, so it's pushed itself into the sell right here. So it shouldn't be 8 in a buy. It should be in a sell. So there's that. Let's see where gold is. Let's see. Now also, still plummeting gold, silver. See, middle-aged muscle should help my coffee. Okay. Daniel, dollar index treasury bonds have been holding a bullish trend to the past couple of days. If the dollar index holds, it can continue to go all the way to 91. Jumped off monthly, yearly. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Yes, the dollar ruble climbing. Now 75.7, close to the 76 I said a couple days ago. Yeah, we went into that buy last week. I think we labeled what was that, the Thursday or Wednesday webinar? Buy ruble or something like that, or the week before. Where are we at here? What am I looking at? Oh, yeah, let's go look at gold. And let's do this. So we'll go through the, let's do the metals too. While we're here, we'll do the metal complex. There we are. And then there's the gold. Gold is pushing down today. So that was in the buy. And it's pushing down today, trying to go into a sell. Where's that trading at? 1842. So we'll put that there and change the color to it, like so, if it survives the sell. And then let's take a look at the platinum, because I think that is I know I ramble about it all the time. Let's take a look at the platinum. And let's see, platinum right there, 1842. Okay, so now it's moving down too. So it's what's that, $840 spread now. And that's been in a sell since here. So platinum has finally rolled over. I didn't really think about it the last couple of days. We wrote an article when it went into the buy here, thinking it was gonna, and it looks like it's holding up in here, compared to. Let's save that. Let's refresh it too, because I really do think that that's a Yellen spread. I think you want to be long platinum, short gold. Now let's look at gold again, real quick again there. About the same movement down. Yeah, I still think that you want to be long the platinum, not the gold. Let's see. Let's take a look at. Can't see. Okay, there we go. And then let's go see the other one, like right here. Let's take a look at it. There it is, right there. It's moving up. That is the dollar, the UUP. What's that? Up in there, Control R. There we are. So that's moving up. Yeah. Trying to get into a buy there. And it's in a weekly buy for the last, 3 full weeks. And let's put UUP. Save that. And while we're here, we'll take a look at the 3 stock indices. Here is, yesterday, the Qs went into a sell. That's the NASDAQ 100, or on Dukascopy, they call that the Tech 100. Save that. Right there. And then the Russell, I know what I wanted to talk about yesterday, but we got lost in it. And that is the Russell is going through the same thing that the GameStop is. There's a short squeeze going on. That's why the Russell was running so hot and heavy. I thought it was because political insiders were front running the thing, but instead they're trying to cover their shorts. That's what that's all about. So that is the action of what we're seeing there. And then you see here the S&Ps now. Oh, okay, they closed in a daily sell yesterday also. And then that's why I was hunting for that short side of things yesterday, because I wanted to try to get into that. I think we'll get into that somewhere during the day today. We're going to put a position on that, on the short side of things. Yeah. So let's see. So that's where we are with the. Let's see. Daniel says stock indices went down today. So far, 1% on average on all of them. Well, I'll tell you this. Last I saw GameStop, it was up at $240. It's crazy stuff. My son is saying that there are even market. He works for a law firm, and my son, and he's part of the portfolio team. Okay, so he used to be at J.P. Morgan Chase, and now he's at a law firm. And what they do is they do class action lawsuits in the stock market side of things. And he's saying there are even market people watching Elon because they know that the sheep will buy something he talks about. He says GameStop is such trash. Let's see. If the crowdsource funding for their stock like Tesla, I'll be so at least Tesla makes American cars. Retail video game store is such a waste. It's a retail. So, and not counting my son's desire to pay attention to the rocket ship that they manufacture too in Tesla. But yeah, he actually works for a law firm that does class action lawsuits for hedge funds and mutual funds and retirement funds, and he's part of the portfolio team, and they sue corporations for doing stupid things, and then get money back. They use the stock price for the hours that they sue for. They actually sue, like, somebody did something boneheaded for a corporation, and they sue. If the stock drops like $5 or something like that, they'll sue for the $5, and they get 80, 90 funds all doing a class action against the company, and they make money out of it. It's a big law firm. It's weird stuff. So he's really wired into this stuff. He's texting the daylights out of me right now about it. I'm just giving him a. There you go. So that's where we are with that. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh yeah, let's check out Bitcoin. Daniel says down at 30,000. Yeah, it's been sitting in that area, hasn't it? It falls to hold it. If it fails to hold that, we'll likely go to 25. Let's see. Yeah, that Ethereum doesn't have futures on it, so it plays a whole different game there, doesn't it? Let's go over to that. Oh, and let me do this too. I want to get the other oil product that we did that I don't. There it is right there. You see bean oil still looking incredibly firm there. You know, the commodities again. Yeah, I think this might be a 1982 event. I think Robin, we might need to talk about this. This is one of the most insane things ever written. But this is starting to make more sense now that I'm putting my physics and the planetary electromagnetic field and where we are in our galaxy at the moment, where we go through that 12,000 year cycle. This is starting to make sense now. Now the rampage. Notice, middle-aged muscle and whoever else out there trades the commodities. We're not. I don't think I've ever seen the commodities this firm for so long. I mean, we saw an explosion back in 2009, 2007, 2008, 2009. When everybody reached for assets in dollar-based assets, but we're starting to see some really strange action where grains go up, meats go up. Don't they usually? They usually work against each other, not with each other, right? Middle age, isn't that the norm? Let's see, what am I trying to save here? Oh yeah, bean oil, right there. There we go. Yeah, I mean that is the norm, isn't it? They work together. Now let's jump over to where is it at? Let's take a look at Bitcoin. There it is. There, we've been in sell for a couple of days. Yeah, playing with that. I'd imagine you're right. The 25,000, maybe 27,000, right there. And then I don't know. I don't. I'm a little. I saw something written about. Yellen is not upset about the cryptos yet, and then when they start to take market share, then she's going to, slam them. They'll outlaw them or do something crazy. Yeah, this is probably what it is. This is probably. You know what I should do? Let's see, can I find it here? Where is it at? I'm going to put something up on the chat line, and I know this is going to be a little strange, but it's going to explain what's going on here. In the sense of what I'm talking about, geomagnetically and so forth. Let's see if we can find it here. Here you go. This is a declassified CIA project. Let's see, where can we do that? Oh, right there. Let's see if I can put this up there. I don't think I can. I can't put this up there because I'm not signed in. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. Well, I think... Oh, I just lost myself there. I think traders, what you really want to do is you want to look at something called the Adam and Eve Project, which was declassified by the CIA. And I think that... that is what I'm talking about. It's called the Adam and Eve Project by the CIA. It was declassified after its author passed away. So I think that's what you want to take a look at, and I think that this is starting to make a lot more sense when it comes to the grains, and that's probably why we see the currencies locked in like kind of really tight ranges where we don't see a lot of wild activity, because the marketplace probably has there's probably another agenda that we're not really seeing. Let's see what Daniel says here. He says let's see, Ethereum. Let's see. Daniel says that it's $205 in pre-market. The main reason this is pumping is to squeeze the short sellers. Right, exactly. GME was bullish since the 1st of September, according to my charts. Let's see. Is bullish across multiple exotics like, what's that? Cable against HUF. No, it's dollar against HUF. Dollar against what is SEK is the I follow the Zolti, and I don't know what the RON is. Let's look at. Do you want me to look at some of those currencies? We can look at those. Yeah, you got to watch that. There's a couple of things out there. I studied under the fellow who wrote that, so I can actually say I can speak with authority. I was asked to audit his class. Someone came to me and said, "We have a class we want you to audit," and I said, "What?" And they said, "Yes, you've been invited to audit this class." And I said, "Okay," because he has a chemistry degree and then he has a PhD in philosophy, and he worked for a 3-letter agency. Why don't we just leave it at that? And he wrote this book, and they classified it, and then after a while, I guess when the plasma universe when the evidence became too apparent, they declassified it, and so it's been declassified now, and the world is not really picking up on it because mainstream physics is being paid not to follow it, but NASA, Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, the Princeton Propulsion Laboratory in Princeton are now in unison with the electric universe and what I'm talking about. So, no, it's a micronova. It's not a supernova. It's a micronova. It happens every 12,000 years. So that's probably the answer to a lot of things we're seeing right now. We're probably seeing a lot of strange stuff, a lot of strange activity, and the currencies, to a great extent, are probably the most passive out of all of it. Probably why we're seeing minus interest rates, because the world is so jumbled at this point. By the way, Jupiter, Saturn, we're very close. Yeah, on the 26th. They're still pretty bright in the sky. No, that had no effect on the solar activity. Nah. Yeah, we're heading into a new ice age. I hear you there. But anyway, that's where we are at the moment. That would explain a lot of activity we're seeing across the sectors of commodities and currencies and so forth. And that could be the strength we see in, we've tried to get the real. We haven't done a good job at getting the real. I don't even think I can get it on. Let's go to J4X. We've tried to get the real, the Brazilian real, because they're a very large producer of soybeans, and we've wanted to follow the Brazilian real, to watch its currency, the way it moves, and we haven't been too good at that. Let's see. Let's see if we can find it. Maybe there's a euro real. So far, I have not been able to find anything. So, and you were asking about the dollar kroner. Okay. And then, let's see if we can find the real. I don't really see anything. The real is really hard to find, I mean, that's like I think it's like a commodities currency. You know what I mean? So, let's see. Solar Retrograde Cycle, a book mentioned by Robert Felix. Not by fire, but by ice. Yeah. So if planet really cools down, this means oil and gas will go up strong fundamentally, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, what happens is that we get hit with has anybody ever heard of the Carrington event that happened in 1859? Or any Canadians in here that remember what happened to, was it Quebec? Back in, what was that? 19 something, 1997 or 2003 or something like that. It was a CME that hit that corner of the planet from the sun and just blew out the electrical systems. This is going to melt all metals. It'll make metals act like they're in space. So, in other words, if you have like copper and lead, or melted together, they'll separate on Earth from the blast. So, yeah, it had a big effect in 1859 in the United States, since we had mostly the United States was full of electrical devices at that point. Marconi was big, and capitalism, keeps things growing. So. But yeah, that's where we are now. I see. Where'd we leave off? So there's the Bitcoin, and I imagine because Bitcoin's a futures contract, they can put more pressure on Bitcoin than they can on the other cryptocurrencies. That would make sense to me. That seems to be the recipe of it all. Now, what we can do is just at the end here, we can go look at some of the stock indices. You can see, I showed you yesterday the currencies, the equities closed in sells, and now you can see today the futures contracts are heading into sells. So we're seeing a lot of weakness in that sector. We're seeing there's the as they call it, the Tech 100 on Dukascopy, and then there's the S&P 500, and that's doing the same thing. It's feeling the pain. Did that even close in a sell there? That did close in a sell. Okay. And so the pressure is on, and then you got these crazy things going on with individual stocks because of short squeezes. I'd imagine we're coming up on another possible February March volatility again. That would not surprise me if we saw some dramatic action in the stock markets. That would not surprise me at all. That seems to be the nature of it all. Look at that. That also closed in a sell yesterday. Okay. There we are. And we'll save that one. And then we'll take a look at the Russell. You see, so if this is actually happening, laptops and smartphones and yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, just the Carrington event was a 50x. The Macro Nova that we're looking at right now is going to be around 700x. It's going to be, it's going to be like, 15, 20 times greater. It happens every 12,000 years. That's what the declassified document shows. And they chose to keep it hidden for a while, I guess, just to not let society get too freaked out about it. Now that we're coming towards the end of it, I guess they figure. Also, they allowed the author Thomas to publish something the year he died. He died in '93, and he was able to publish one more thing. So let's see, April live cattle. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see, right there. I think that in the end result, looking at the commodities will probably give us a doorway to the currencies. That's probably the answer to it all in the end. It was that way with the metals in the beginning of the last decade, and that's probably be the answer to it all. So there is February cattle holding up very firm. I don't think they're even trading yet. That's yesterday's. Yeah. And so, and then, right, and then let's see what the hogs look like. There's the hogs. They're the same way, firm from yesterday. And, it's like all of them are rising. It's like all right, middle age, they don't do that normally over the decades. They usually go up and down like an engine, don't they? Like the pistons. One piston's up, the other piston's down. Now, there is what is that? That is soybeans, and it's holding up firm. But look at this. The time manifold and everything, the histogram has not made it there yet. It's still fighting it. But it's going up in price. And our weekly is strong. So they're reaching for commodities like as if there is no tomorrow. What do they know? When did they know it? And there's corn. And then we can take a quick look at the April hogs. I mean, April cattle. April cattle was very strong also. Let's see. Dukascopy does soybeans. Let's take a quick look on the soybeans on Dukascopy. On the J4X says soybeans. Where is it at? Right there. There's the soybeans. They're turning up again. And making another dash into that direction. Oh, let's go take a look at the April cattle. We'll look at April cattle for you. There it is right there. There's April cattle. Now, April cattle, back months are not even looking. Look at the height. Let's move that out of the way. Look at that. Look at the height of that. It's been in a buy since here. The back month. The weekly. Boy, there's your winner chicken dinner. That's why I was saying to you, doing the binaries in the cattle is where it's at. Move your bottom up on your binary options, and then move the top up. Sell two different binaries, a long binary and a short binary above it. That's the name of the game. That's the way to trade this stuff and make money. Oh, time. Okay. All right. Let's see what Daniel says. Cattle, thanks. Daniel says Carrington event 50 times what you say might. Yeah. What the macro Nova is going to be 700 times. Yeah, it's going to be pretty big. Middle-aged muscle. I've been trading them since '95. Definitely something different. Yeah, I think we hit it. I think we hit what it is. This is the 1982 effect. Only difference is that this is the 1980, like the way 1982 took the stock market from 700 all the way into the thousands and never looked back. Now they're taking the commodities and anything dollar denominated, and they're going to take it, and they're just going to keep on buying them. They're not going to let them go. I don't think they're going to let them go. I think it'll be a flight to safety, if nothing else. All right, this is Doc, the Starman, saying happy trails. Happy trails to you until we meet in our spaceship again. Happy trails to you, to all